For this tutorial, we're going to look at creating some kind of a fantasy weapon. This is just one that I made as I was practicing. It's not very good, but you can see that it's made up of 3 parts currently. So I've got the blade, the hilt, and the handle. I don't know what the proper terminology is, but we're going to create this. We're going to create it from scratch. So I'm just going to go and click new. Oops, file new, reload startup file. Now I'm going to kind of do this, just make it up on the spot essentially. I'm not sure what kind of weapon it will turn out to be, but I'm going to put it in top-down mode. So that's number 7. And I'm going to add a mesh. I'm going to add a plane. And I'm going to go into edit mode, hit A to deselect, B to draw a box around these 3, and hit X to delete the vertices. I am going quite fast. A lot of these shortcuts you should have been familiar with by now. If not, just listen and slow the video down. With this one, I'm going to right click on that vertice to select it, and I'm going to hit Control and click over here. That's going to add a new point, and then I'm going to click up here, and we'll click up here and we'll go around this way. It doesn't really matter at the moment because I can always move these a little bit. I think I'll make some kind of battle axe. So we'll bring it down to here and then bring it back in. And I might just move that one a little bit that way, and then to there. Okay, I won't worry about closing that up at the moment. I'm just going to reposition some of these. So hit B and B and move some of these in. We want a more rounded shape at the front here. It's not looking quite right at the moment. That's a little bit better. Move them down. These ones down here. Move that out, and that one can come up a little bit, and that one can go in there. Move that out there a little bit. It's just a bit of a time-consuming process, this part, just getting it to look just right. There's the profile. That looks pretty good there. At least that's as much as I'm going to do for now. And I hit 7. And I'm going to select A and hit Shift D. That's going to duplicate this. It's probably in the menu options down here. Mesh. I don't see it, but I know that Shift D is duplicate. So I'm going to hit Shift D and duplicate it. I'm just going to leave it where it is, and then I'm going to scale it down. Scale it down to there, grab it, move it to the right a bit. And now some of these bits I'm going to need to move in. Okay, I'm going to need to move that one in there. This one, these 2 here, I'm going to grab them and move them down to here. These 2 here, grab them and move them to here. This one here, grab it, move it in. Just position these inside a little bit more. Like so. I might just grab that one and bring it back. Okay, so I've got that there. I will select that entire thing, and I'll go to side view now, and I'm going to lift it up just a bit, just like about that much. Okay, so now what I can do is I'm going to hit B and B, select these, and then hit F to create a face on them. It looks like it's the wrong way around, so I'll just do it. What I mean by wrong way around is that that's dark when it should be the light side. I'll just do it this way, and then I'll reverse the faces at the end. Okay, so I'll select those, hit a face. Whenever you're creating faces in Blender, you should always ensure they don't have any more than 4 sides. Things get a little bit more complicated when they're more than 4 sides. A 4-sided shape is quite easy. It's quite easy to triangulate. Anything else gets a bit more complicated. Working in 3D is quite hard, so make sure you're utilizing those different views. The 1, 3, and 7 on the number pad. Okay, so I've got that there. What I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to bring these two back to about there. I might just bring this one in a bit more. Okay, and I'm going to select everything, A, and hit W, and flip normals. Okay, that looks right now. Okay, so that lighter grey colour is there. Hopefully when I do this next step, which is going to be to hit F. Oh, good, it does. Okay. So I'm going to go through and select these here and hit F on each one. This one I'll just do some 3s up here, and then 4. In a big area like this, it's probably better just to triangulate it rather than go for 4s. When the model exports anyway, it does triangulate it, so you may as well just help it out. This face here, this one here, I'm going to subdivide. I'm going to hit subdivide on that. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to hit inset, like that, and I'm also going to inset. I'm not going to insert that one there, I'm going to subdivide that one. I'll probably make a few changes to this here later, but I've kind of got my basic axe shape here. What I want to do with this is, I will just go back on that there. In this area here, I want to make some interesting cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the knife. I'm going to cut the knife across from there and hold Control. It's going to click there in the center and then go back to there. That didn't work, so let's get that again. Click there, hold Control, click there, hit Enter, and that'll put those in. What I've done here is I've made these two areas. I'm going to inset them like so by selecting them both. Ooh, I've selected it too much in the middle. So I'll get that, inset them like that. And then with this center area here, I'm going to pull it up along that y-axis. So I switch to the side view and I'm just going to pull it up a little bit so it looks like that there. Okay, so I've got that there. Then I will click on these three here and do a loop, cut and slide across. Well, I'll just do it across there. Hit Enter, that's done. Go back to face mode or edge mode. Grab these two edges, this one and this one, and I'm going to scale them in slightly like that. Alright, so I've got my axe head. If I go back down here and hit C or B, draw a box on these, I might just move this around. 7 to go to top down view, move it around so it's a bit more axe like there. I'll grab that one and just move it in there. That looks pretty good, I think, at the moment. I could probably, might bring this whole area down over here a bit more and rotate it. So it's a bit more like that. Same at the top here. Grab, bring it that way, rotate it. Okay, there we go. That's more what I'm after. This area here is looking a bit weird. This one here in particular. What I might have to do is just make a triangle out of those three. Okay, and then that will fix that problem up there. What the problem has happened is that I've got a four-sided thing with a crease down the middle of it, and when that happens, it can mess things about. So I'll just have to hit W on that and flip that. Okay, so that's better. It's a bit funny up here, but I'm not too worried about that. And there doesn't seem to be anywhere else where it's gone like that. Okay, so there's my axe object. Just going to go back into it, and finally we go to modifiers, mirror, and I'm going to mirror it along that X and along the Z. Now I will need to make sure it's mirrored. You can see here, oh there we go, just want to move that out so it's like that there. Doesn't really matter if it overlaps in the center here, not a big problem, and underneath is fine as well. I'm going to leave that as it is for now. I'm not going to apply it. We'll come back to it later on. We'll probably make this side a little bit smaller, and to do that we'll need to apply it, but we can leave it for now. So I'm going to tab out of there and then add in another object. This is going to be a mesh. It's going to be a, what are we looking for? A cylinder. And this cylinder, if I bring up the N tool, I'm going to rotate it along that red line, so spin it forward 90 degrees. And I can use the scale tool here to scale it down. I will look top down, grab that, kind of position it about here. Go to 1, position it down a bit further, scale it down a little bit, doesn't need to be that big. That's probably a good height there. Bring it down just a bit more so it's centered. Go back to top view, and then just going to extend it this way. So I'll go into tab. One thing I should have done first is modify this cylinder. So I'm just going to delete the cylinder, and you can delete the cylinder too. You want to add in that cylinder again, mesh cylinder, but down here before we finalize it, change this number to about 12. And just means we won't have as many edges to worry about. It'll be a lot easier. Then 90 on the rotation. Enter. Get it back into position again. And go 1. It'll bring it back to there. Pop that there. Scale it down. Okay, hit tab. And I'm going to go and bring this face this way quite a bit. And this one this way quite a bit. And what I'll do with these two ends is apply a modifier. Hopefully the bevel will work. We don't want it to bevel these bits, so I'll just look at which one of these does it. Nope, nope. Oh, that's fine, I suppose. Let's see, only vertices. And I can bring, nope, undo that. It's just a matter of playing around with these settings here to get them right. Okay, so that's going to give it a bit of a rounded top on that. Okay, now with this bit here, I will click apply because I don't want to worry about that anymore. Apply that. Modifiers cannot be applied in edit mode. Okay. Apply, done, go back to edit mode. Now I've got this bit here, and this is where I can start making some changes. So that's all done, that bit. You can see it's got a rounded edge on it. I'm going to put a wood texture on it. It'll look quite nice. And hit E to extrude this just a little bit. Just a little bit. This is going to have a different texture on it. Then I'm going to scale it outwards. And then I'm going to hit E and bring it down and scale it inwards. This is going to have a different texture on it together, pretty much around that ring there. It's going to be a different texture. Then I'm going to do something which is going to seem quite odd. I'm going to hit E to extrude it, but I'm not going to extrude it anywhere. I'm just going to click. What I've essentially got now here is two faces directly overlapping, and I'm going to then scale that inwards. I could do it a different way. I could do inset as well, and then just select the other one. So there's two ways you could do that. It doesn't really matter. Go 7, extrude that all the way down to about here, I suppose, and scale it in. This is going to be our handle, down, and scale it, oops, scale it out again just a bit. And then this is where this extrude bit will come in handy. So I'm going to hit E and just click and then scale it outwards. Like that. Hit E, bring it down to about there and just scale it out just a tiny bit. E, bring it in. This is going to be my handle. Then I will go back to here, inset it, scale it in, sorry, inset to about there, hit select that face, extrude, scale in, extrude, scale out, and then extrude, click, scale out, extrude, scale out, extrude, scale in, extrude just a tiny bit. I'll zoom in on that part, and scale in to get the bottom. Now I probably want to make this area here a little bit bigger, so I'm going to hit B, and I'm going to make sure that that box there is unticked so that all the faces that I box over are selected, even the ones behind. I'm going to scale this area along that X axis a bit, and then along that Y, not the Y axis, the Z axis. That looks fine. I don't know why it's gone like that. Okay. So here is my, I just want to select that bit there, that ring, and scale that in so it's not so outwards. There we go. Okay, so I go 7. There's my handle. Doesn't look too bad at the moment. So all I really want to do here is make some modifications to this up here. So I'm going to apply that modifier now, and then I'll go back into here. I can edit all parts of it. So what I think I'll do is put a box around this entire side here. So I hit A, B, select all those edges, and I'll select the ones that are, might just select these here, B, these ones, and not that one there. And I'll scale them down along the Y axis. And then I'll scale them along the X axis, bring it in a little bit. I think I've mucked up on the other side, but it's not a big deal. And then just bring it all kind of this way here. I might have to select some of these and bring them in. I'll go into vertex mode, bring this in. I've probably wrecked some of these faces here and made them a bit off edge, but that's okay. So that side's a bit smaller now. I might need to actually make some modifications to this point, bring it down a bit, this point here. I'll draw a box around that, bring that down to the right, and then A, B, bring that up. A, B, bring that one up as well. And then this side here, B, grab all of those. Should be in top-down view. Just going to drag those down and that way. And then these bits here, I'm going to rotate that so it's a bit more like that. This side here is looking a bit funny now, so I'll grab those and bring them into there. Up a bit. Okay, so there's my battle axe thing. What I might also decide to do is to go over here and just make a slight edit. on this here. So I'm going to put in a cut. I'm going to use the knife to cut from there to there, and hit enter. That puts a cut in there. And I'm also going to do the same thing just next to it. So I'm going to put a cut from there to there, and hit enter. And then on the opposite side, I'll do the same thing. I'll turn off that there. So I've got those two edges. Put in a cut from there to there to there. Hit enter. I've done that. And then I will delete this face. So I need to go into face mode, right click, X, faces, X, faces. It leaves me with that there. And I will put a knife cut from here to here and hit enter. That didn't do anything. I'll need to undo that. Okay. Sorry, what I want to do, vertice mode, select this vertice, and this vertice, and hit F, this vertice, and this vertice, hit F, like that. I do need to fix something up here. There are two vertices that I can merge together. So I'll hit that one, and hit M, Alt M, sorry, and merge at the last one, which is that one there. It just brings that vertice across, makes it work a whole lot better. Okay, so now if I go into edit mode, there's like a chip in it there. Could probably add one over here, maybe a few more chips around the place so it looks a bit worn. What I will do is go into the edit mode for this, and on these parts here, let's see if I can do this. Face mode, 7, select behind, B, select those faces. I wonder if I can subdivide those. I can. Okay, so I can hit subdivide and just subdivide those faces. And then if I go into sculpt mode, what I can do is sculpt this area using this brush here by adding to it and making it just a bit less obvious. I want this to be kind of like a leather grip. And also at the end here, I could do it too, up here. So I want it to be a wooden head area. So I don't want it to be too perfect. So if I go into it, you can see it's made some modifications to it. I probably need to subdivide that area a little bit more, but that's fine how it is. And if I just go back to sculpt mode, I can go through here and flip on the other side and just deform it a little bit so it's not quite as perfect as it was before. Now it looks a bit dumb because I didn't spend much time on it, but you get the general idea. I could also do that for this area here. So if I wanted to do that and go into sculpt mode, I could grab some of these faces and move them about a little bit. It'll just give it a little bit more character. Okay, so that's it. Next video, I'll look at unwrapping this model and texturing it. So we've made a pretty decent model here. I'm going to save it, save as, and I'll call it ax.blend. Make sure you put the blend on the end or it'll be hard to find and open again. Save as Blender file. Next video, we'll look at texturing it, or unwrapping the seams, and then texturing it from there.